There is no two ways around it. Going through a breakup or having recently been through a breakup, it sucks. Knowing that someone who you were once attracted to, who was attracted to you, who you shared a lot of intimacy, joy, and love with, knowing that that is over and done for, it sucks. And maybe you're at the point where you're heavy getting into your training, you're trying to move forward, but you haven't really dealt with it. Maybe you're using different habits, you're eating, you're drinking, smoking weed every night, distracting yourself with porn, gaming, whatever it may be. You're at a point now where maybe you haven't dealt with what actually went on, or maybe you just don't know what to do because it's so fresh and so devastating. I've made this video today because I feel it for the guys who have recently been through a breakup, having been through one myself, and I want to share with you my perspective. I'm not a dating coach, I'm not a relationship guru, but through breakups and relationships in the past and just in my own pursuit of being a better version of myself, I've listened to, read, watched a lot of things that go into dating psychology, just normal human psychology and behavior, and I've started to try to digest that, interpret it into my own life and apply it into relationships and improving myself as a man. So I want to share some of that, and hopefully I can help you out with some other strategies if you're someone struggling at this point in time because you're going through a breakup, you've recently been through one, maybe you're just in a rocky part of your relationship and you feel like you've lost attraction to, or your partner has lost attraction to you, but maybe you just need this video today to give you some guidance. So let's talk about what it actually feels like when you come out of that relationship, when it's fresh and it's raw. For some guys, they react with sadness, they bawl their eyes out. Some guys are angry. A lot of time this anger can come from a feeling of rejection and you just project that anger out. Or some guys, if you're like me, in the moment, you're very logical. You're like, it makes sense, we've lost intimacy, we're not as attracted to each other, we're not really putting heaps of effort into it, or one party wants to and the other doesn't. It just makes sense, let's just move on. Yet you wake up the next day, short of breath, emotional, tears rolling down your eyes. You haven't cried in a couple of years and you're like, what is going on? How do I deal with this? Like, I did not expect this to happen. So we're all going to deal with it in different ways. We're all going to feel it in different ways. But the matter of the fact is that we actually need to embrace what has happened, what is going on, and that it is very normal to feel a sense of loss, a sense of grief. It's normal to feel sadness. It's normal to feel anger, anxiety, depression, all these sorts of things. If you have been dating this person for over a year, 2 years, 3 years plus, however long it has been, you have shared a lot of time, experiences, feelings, moments of joy, happiness, anger, whatever it may have been with this person. You are used to them being there in your life. You probably had a lot of trust for this person, and now you feel like you've lost it. You feel like that one person you could rely on and you could trust has walked out the door. So what do? Some of us try to rationalize it logically. If you're like me, you start looking up things, trying to understand it straight away, move on from it, start planning out your goals for your training, for your business, what you want to do and improve. Some guys go out there straight away, trying to get revenge. They want to go date other girls. They're sending nasty messages, whatever it is. Some guys sit there crying, they get emotional, they drink, they smoke, they get on the drugs, whatever it is that takes them away from that feeling. No matter what it is, this is a reaction to the environment around us, to the situation that we're in. Remember guys, we're an animal built to survive. We're going to try adapt to the environment to survive it. And we all have different ways of doing it. And we develop different mechanisms, different habits that help us to respond to these situations. And some of them are good, some of them are bad. However, it is all normal. What I want to do with this video at the end is try to guide you to some of the habits that will help you to improve progressively over time, not only so you're a higher quality man in a relationship, but also so you're a higher quality man, full stop. So when we're at the end point of this relationship, or even if it's just a few months, maybe even a year in the past, you're probably still feeling a lot of the things. Sometimes thoughts come up. Sometimes you've built up these habits to deal with it, whether it's training all the time, eating really clean and just working on your body, or it is getting on the drink, drugs, maybe you are hitting up girls and you're trying to validate yourself through sex, whatever it may be. What you need to do is just recognize this. Be the observer of this, of the animal that is you, the behaviors, the reactions, how you're dealing with it, how you're trying to adapt to this environment? Are you trying to brush away the feelings of rejection, loss, anger, whatever it may be that you were feeling at one point? Are you trying to bottle it up and save it for another day? The best thing that I did initially in my last breakup was feel what was going on. I'd acknowledged it, I'd done a bit of work on this in the past and knew that I was going to have to just feel what was happening at that point. And I did initially. I probably need to feel it a little bit more, but I used other things like journaling, like talking to people about it, but I also balanced it out by pursuing my own goals towards my own health and fitness, towards my business, but also in building relationships as well. And that's what I'd want to dive into a little bit more. So regardless of what you've been feeling and how you've been behaving, let's just process what has happened from the start of this relationship to the end. At the start of the relationship, you're so attracted to this person. You go through this period of limerence where you just want to spend all your time with them. There's so much oxytocin floating around your body. Maybe you're getting down like rabbits a lot of the time. You go through these moments of just pure joy and ecstasy. And there's such a high, but maybe over time it started to drop down. Maybe the story that you sold to your significant other or the story that they sold to you, it started to unfold. You started to realize little things. Maybe you didn't accept them. And they're normal things, normal human errors or things that anyone can do. But some of the standards started to drop. Maybe as the guy, you started to get more content. You put less work into yourself or your business or your career. So this motivated, hardworking person that this other person saw started to get distorted. You start to get a little bit relaxed. Maybe you start to indulge in food or drinking a little bit. Maybe you get a little bit lazy and you just start watching TV or gaming. This is probably one of the biggest acknowledgements that I've taken from my relationships in the past. And I try to acknowledge it moving forward when it comes to me becoming a better man. It's taking control of the things that I'm responsible for. My health, my mental well-being, my business, my income, my financial health, and my relationships around me. Start to think about the fact that if you're a guy and you've been in a relationship that has went downhill, did you drop your standards? Some sense of discomfort. You need to challenge yourself, whether you're in a relationship or not. That should be one of your responsibilities as a man. You need to be pushing yourself. Maybe you do well in your career and it's more so in your health and fitness that there's started to be some lack, that you got content. You settled down a little bit and you need to push it more. Maybe it's the other way around. I've pushed so hard with my training and my eating at times that it caused issues with my career. I had no energy to build up my business, so I had to check myself and achieve this balance. The other thing too, if you dive so far into your career or your business and your training and health, what about your relationships? What are you feeding them? Are you connecting with your family, your friends? Another big learning curve for me. Keep associating with my mates, keep making new friends, meet strangers, get around like-minded people, get around strong men. If you're only hanging out with women and you're hanging out with your partner, what male influence have you got? What other standards are being set by other males? A lot of these people get this idea that they need to go into their winter arc, into monk mode. They need to be by themselves, they need to be trained by themselves, studying, reading, work on their business. And to a degree, yes, you're gonna need times where you spend time in solitude. You should be embracing the fact that if you're alone now, that is a time to reflect. You've got more time for yourself. You're not sitting there spending time watching movies with your partner. You've got time that you can work on your health, your fitness, your business. You can study, you can educate yourself more. Maybe you can pick up some other hobbies you dropped off. You can start hanging out with mates more, your family more again. When you're ready for it, you can start dating. You can do all these things now that you've got this time. You can do all these things now that you've got this time that you're not with this significant other. And that's a really key point to touch on, is that it's okay to be alone. I know when I originally set into this, coming out of the breakup, it wasn't too bad at first, and then it came up to Christmas time and I realized I'm in a house that's probably fit for a family because my housemate had moved out with his partner. I'm on my own around Christmas time. I had this day where I was just anxious. I wanted to get outside, I wanted to play music, I just wanted to crack a drink, I wanted to get away from it. And I thought, you know, over the past year or two, I actually wanted more time on my own. I wanted to be able to reflect, I wanted the peace and quiet, I love it. So I had to shift my perspective back to, what can I create out of this? How can I make a positive out of this thing that I'm deeming as a negative situation that probably really isn't? And to further that even more, go do some things on your own. Go to a beach by yourself. Go to a cafe by yourself. Watch a movie. Be okay with being on your own. Get good at doing it and become comfortable and confident hanging out on your own. And you won't feel like you need to cling to other people all the time. So when we look at it, whether you're in a relationship or not, you need to be taking care of your own health and fitness. You need to be training. Now, the big thing that I emphasize and I emphasize with my coaching is hybrid training. Have a few different options. Do some strength training in the gym. Do some more athletic exercises in the gym. Build strength, build power, build muscle. But also go for a run outside. Get out in the sun. Go for a run by the beach. Go for a trail run. Build up some endurance as well. Both have profound health benefits. Both are going to complement your body composition, which is going to add to your self-confidence and your attractiveness when it comes to a relationship. And then on the other side of things, nutrition. Using it as an emotional escape, but on the other hand, don't feel that you have to restrict sugar from your diet and go on some 75 hard challenge or just only eating meat on the carnivore diet, whatever it is. Have a flexible approach to nutrition. Fuel your body well so you've actually got energy. Fun fact, dealing with a breakup whilst you're in a severe calorie deficit or just binging on food is not going to make it any better. Now, the big thing that swings all of this together, it holds it together like glue, is your mindset. And I'm not just talking about listening to David Goggins or Jocko Willink and saying, fuck the ex, go work on yourself, you don't have emotions, rah, 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 just go run, go lift weights. Big part of it, working on your health and fitness. But also just starting to embrace what's going on here. What happened in the past? Did you not understand your own emotions and your reactions in the relationship? Did you not understand why you felt rejected, angry, sad, anxious, depressed at times? Do you not understand why you feel lonely now, why you're grieving, why you've got this sense of loss? Again, one of the biggest things that you can do here is just start to educate yourself. A podcast or a YouTube video whilst you're on a run. Doing a little bit of reading. Maybe looking into a course or some sort of mentorship. Maybe speaking to a therapist, a psychologist if you really need to. And then the other thing I would layer in with this that a therapist or psychologist is probably going to tell you to do is to start journaling. Start putting the thoughts that are swirling around your head onto paper so you've got tangible evidence of what is going on up here and so you can start to process it. And I don't care if you're a guy who thinks journaling is stupid and it's not for you, just give it a go. Don't just give it a go once, give it a go a few times. See where it goes, start to lead to. There doesn't have to be a particular structure, although I'm sure you could find some things, some questions to ask yourself online. Freestyle it down, the angry thoughts, the sad thoughts. Put it into logic, whatever you need to do, just express it a little bit. Start to embrace what's going on up here. Now on the other side of things, what changes need to be made up here? Are you someone with a fixed mindset? Are you someone who's a little bit pessimistic? Are you someone that could use a bit more positive influence in their life, or they could start to be a bit more of the optimist? And I don't mean completely. We don't have to think the world's all sunshine, rainbows and unicorns and lollipops, whatever it may be. Can we start to do some work up here? Is there some education that you could use, some mentorship, whatever it may be, to start to switch what your automatic train of thought is. The amount of time that you can spend, the amount of effort that you can put into working on this mindset. And yes, it's achieved through many things. It's through education. It's even through pushing yourself through training, embracing the discomfort, working on discipline with your nutrition, working on your career, educating yourself through academia, through study, whatever it may be. Now, something that I emphasized in this hour bloody long video today, however long it is, was that importance of support. One of the biggest things that I found as a man is that you need to have a good bunch of mates around, or at least a solid 1, 2, 3 mates that you can talk to about things, but you can also maybe go for a run with, you can do something physical with, you can go beach, you can go on a hike, whatever it may be. Don't spend all your time on your own. You need to find a good support network for you. If you are someone who struggles to make friends, start to educate yourself on that more. How can you start to communicate with people in a better way? Could you sign up for some sort of fitness classes, some martial arts classes where you meet other people who are working on themselves? Is there any sort of meetup groups that you could go into? Just think about some ways that you could actually meet or get around other people. Now, one of the other things is too, don't take your family for granted. One of the biggest things I realized in this past 6 months is I don't have a big family, but of those who I do have, they're the only people that I have. So something that I've got set for myself, I guess, over the next year is just enriching the relationships that I have with some of those people. Spending a bit more time with them. I hope this video was of value to you guys today. And if you are a guy who is currently going through, has recently been through a breakup, just know that it does get better, brother. You've just got to do some work on yourself. You've got to embrace what is going on, start to understand, and don't judge yourself for some of the feelings that you may be having, some of the thoughts that you have. It's completely normal. If you feel alone, that's completely normal. If you feel angry, if you feel sad, anxious, depressed, whatever it may be, but it does get better. But you need to start to look at utilizing some of these strategies. Training, looking after your health and fitness, eating well, looking after your health and fitness, working on your mindset through different avenues, finding a community, finding some support, starting to work on reconnecting with people, whether it's friends or family, or forging new relationships. Now, in true coaching fashion, this is what I offer through the new Forge program that I've designed for men who want to build their self-confidence. They want to build mental resilience. They do want to build a leaner, stronger, more endurable body. All these things, this is what I've put into the Forge program. Hybrid training, flexible nutrition, building your mindset, things like breath work, journaling, and then also cultivating a strong community. It's only small now, but it's something that I really want to create an impact with, is creating this community online. If you're in Brisbane and you want to come down to the Daily Discomfort Run Club down in Newstead, feel free to come join us down there. Running, breath work, conversations, having a coffee after. If you want to build up that support group, build that community, become a part of it, I'd highly recommend you come down to that. However, if you're someone that is not local to the Brisbane area where I am in Australia, if you're watching this overseas, I've just launched the Forge program, which has been designed for men to take them out of times of adversity, to help them move forward, or for people who just want to become the best man that they can be. So if you are interested in that, I'm going to drop a link in the description below. Otherwise, if you don't already, follow me on Instagram at Coach Michael Stone and DM me Forge, and I'll start a conversation with you. If you've got any questions, if you want to leave some comments below, if you want to message me personally and reach out on Instagram, feel free to, guys.